without any further ado, I'm going to now bring up the man who has been fighting for transit workers, as I said before, around the nation. A gentleman who's always been on the side of working families. A gentleman who knows that investment in transit is a good thing. Our U.S. Senator. He was at one time. I used to call him the mailman when he was here in New Jersey because he always delivered for us. He's still my mailman. But our U.S. Senator, the best we have in the country, Senator Bob Menendez.
Thank you, Ray. I love the mailman. Normally brings good news. Sometimes it brings those bills, though. But anyhow, let me thank you for your leadership of the Amalgamated Transit Union, to all the leaders and workers from SMART, the local 60 conductors and engineers, and to New Jersey Transit as well for joining us this morning. We come to Penn Station today to talk about new legislation aimed at making mass transit safer for workers, safer for riders, and safer for pedestrians. In just a moment, well, I don't know if we'll hear from some of the other workers, but you've heard from Ruby about the challenge that a transit bus operator can have in the day-to-day challenges they have in conducting a bus. From violent assaults and physical threats to precarious blind spots that endanger commuters, cyclists, pedestrians, motorists, and many more. When it comes to mass transit, safety isn't just a catchphrase, it's the foundation on which the entire system rests. Here in New Jersey, millions of people depend on commuter rail, buses, ferries, and more to get to where they're going. It's how they get to work, it's how they get to a doctor, it's they go shopping or out to eat. Put simply, without safe and reliable mass transit, New Jersey's economy would grind to a halt. For that reason, safety has been a career-long focus of mine, especially as the ranking Democrat on the Transit Subcommittee. I fought for safety when I led efforts to require the installation of positive train control nationwide and the funding to make it a reality here in New Jersey. I fought for safety when I authored and passed language requiring states improve oversight for transit agencies, a milestone I was thrilled to see Governor Murphy announce when we met just last week. And I fought for safety when I secured record funding for New Jersey's transit infrastructure to the tune of well over $500 million annually. That's money that helps improve transit safety and efficiency each and every year. Today, we're announcing the next step in our fight for safe and reliable transit throughout New Jersey and the nation. The Transit Worker and Pedestrian Protection Act is bipartisan, it is bicameral, and I believe it can save lives. This legislation, which I've co-introduced with Senators Van Hollen and Warren, among others, addresses two of the most frequent safety hazards faced by transit operators: the threat of physical violence and the risk of traffic crashes that endanger riders, pedestrians, motorists, and other bystanders. We've all been horrified by the reports of transit workers brutally assaulted on the job. Physical violence against bus drivers and train operators is appalling and unacceptable, and it threatens not only the worker, but everyone else who is on board. Our legislation requires transit agencies to take three important steps. First, they must collaborate with their workers on a risk reduction plan, a path forward for reducing accidents, assaults, and tragic fatalities. Secondly, they must create a plan to implement those goals, using strategies like driver assistance technology, new barriers to protect operators, de-escalation trainings, and upgrades for buses to reduce risky blind spots. This is especially important for pedestrian safety. Look, our bus drivers are professionals, but they aren't superhumans who can see through solid walls. We must ensure our next generation buses make blind spot a thing of the past. And finally, our bill requires data on operator assaults be reported to the National Transit Database, because while we have no shortage of horror stories, we need reliable data to chart our progress. Of course, the development of action plans, the purchase of new technology, the collection of data, all of it will require some money. That's why our bill devotes $125 million over 5 years for these objectives. That's in addition to the nearly $10 billion in nationwide transit funding per year we secured in the last transportation bill. If there's anything I know about New Jersey commuters, it's that they want to get to where they're going quickly and safely. Likewise, our bus and train operators deserve to be able to go to work without fear or physical harm. That fear alone takes a toll on the system. We need workers to be able to focus on navigating our roads, not fending off assailants. This is about saving lives and preventing tragedies on our roads and railways. I truly believe in mass transit and the power to connect people to opportunity, to improve quality of life, to ensure sustainability, but I also know it all depends on safety. That's why this legislation is so important. It's what it's all about, building mass transit systems that are safe for everyone who works for them and everyone who depends on them.